I'm Nguyễn Đặng Thanh Mỹ, a junior in English Linguistics at Saigon University, and this is my travel vlog. We're visiting 5 cities in the south central coast and the central highlands of Vietnam, particularly Nha Trang, Quy Nhơn, Hội An, Đà Nẵng, and Đà Lạt. So, shall we first get to Nha Trang? Our first stop and also my favorite destination was Nha Trang Oceanography Institute. Built in 1923 next to the Nha Trang Cove, this is one of the biggest centers in Southeast Asia, specializing in the research and scientific research of marine creatures. The demonstrator kindly guided us through 4 areas. First is the aquarium, where we got to learn about sharks, sea turtles, and various other species. For example, did you know the gender of turtles' offspring is determined by the surrounding temperature? Yes, and that the Vietnamese idiom chậm như rùa should only be grasped in the sense of slow as a tortoise, a land reptile which can withdraw its head and legs to under its shell, and not a sea turtle whose legs are modified into paddles, allowing swimming speed of up to 35 kilometers per hour. Second, the large specimen display of humpback whale, at which I got to know that senior fishermen can name one whale based on the shape of their breath fountain, as each species has different blowhole. Also, the judgment that such huge creature can gulp down a whole dinghy is not true, as their throat is relatively small, and due to high protein rate, whale milk can't be diluted in sea water. The hallway of artificial ribs, and fourth, marine resort record of the Spratly and Paracel archipelagos. So, what have I learned about the marine creatures here? A whole lot. Take a look at these paws. Informally, locals call them razorfish or bottom shaker, as normally they swim with their body set vertically, upside down, and tail up wagging. But when in danger, they swim in a horizontal position. Zebra moray can be distinguished from a snake by seeing whether it has jaws or not. Their teeth are structured to slant inwards, along with a high risk of infection for the victims. And the shy but poisonous black bush porcupine fish. It has long been warned to be consumed only if the chef knows it well, as the poison isn't present in just one particular body part, but varies among different individuals depending on the species, the seasons, and surroundings temperature. The Vietnamese saying, dính như sam, may sound lovely or so, but in reality, the male clings onto the female just to feed on her food. Once he dies, he immediately finds a new female to cling on. Anyway, medically speaking, their blood is used to test bacterial contamination of vaccines. And these are the crinoid and the sea cucumber. With the beautiful latter, in life or death situation, it can shoot out all inner organs to distract the predator. But don't worry you all, its organs can be regenerated. Lastly, do you remember this mascot? By having large venomous spines similar to a man, they are called lionfish and have become an invasive species in the ocean around the US. Thus, many organizations are promoting the harvest of lionfish. Even in some places, shark is being trained to get accustomed to consuming the fish. Not the popular Roman architecture of the West before the 1900s. This church was built in Gothic style, with walls composed of cement, gravel, and sand. Over the years, witnessing countless parishioners come and go, they are worn down by the sun and wind, making many mistakenly believe that the stone church was built with large stone blocks, explaining its rustic name. The best time to visit is when the sunshine passes through the colorful windows, or when the 3 bells on top ring with different notes, creating a remarkable symphony. A natural site with large stones piling up each other randomly. This place is called Hong Chong, where you can feel the breeze, admire the sea, or climb back up the stairs to enjoy the traditional instrument. Say goodbye to Nha Trang and the Nam Nu. On the way to Quy Nhơn, we happened to pass by regions where sand is a prominent geological component, one of which is Phú Yên, where many small businesses operate their shrimp farming in ponds dug out from sand dunes. This might be convenient and cost-saving in the initial construction. However, it in turn poses many threats to the environment, namely contamination of groundwater and subsidence of Earth's surface. Nevertheless, the abundant and fine sand reserve of this region and its neighbor Bình Định has allowed them to be highly invested to become future sea tourism center of the south central coast. Bình Định is also well known for its Thị Nại Lagoon, which plays a huge role in providing Bình Định with a generally less harsh climate and such prosperity in marine biodiversity. I was lucky enough to talk with a local who was extremely passionate and informative. Let's learn something about Quy Nhơn, a city of Bình Định province with us.
Cô là người địa phương hay là khách du lịch đến đây ạ? Cô thì sống ở đây ở địa phương Bình Định. Hỏi đầu tiên là con muốn hỏi là nếu mà có dịp cuối tuần thì cô thường tụ tập với bạn bè ở đâu ạ? Ở cô thì sống Quy Nhơn thì thường cuối tuần là cô tập gia đình hoặc là bạn bè là đi uống cà phê uống sáng là ở những khu vực của bao nhiêu phương cô. Hiện giờ mình cũng đang chạy bộ buổi tối đúng không? Đúng rồi, tối thì cô hay đi bộ, sáng thì cô đi bơi. Dạ. Quá là lành mạnh luôn. Dạ. Sáng thì hay đi bơi, rồi về rồi ăn sáng uống cà phê. Vì cô đã nghỉ rồi, nghỉ hưu. Nghỉ hưu nhưng mà còn khỏi công việc là mình vẫn cứ tham gia các thể thao để đồ. Thì nếu mà có một món ăn địa phương, nếu mà cô muốn đề xuất với mọi người thì cô sẽ đề xuất món gì? Ở địa phương cô thì những cái món đặc sản của Bình Định là bánh tráng nước dừa nè, tiết lá gai nè, bánh hỏi lòng heo nè, những cái đặc sản khác thì rất là nhiều. Ví dụ như thường cuối tuần là cả nhà đi ăn hải sản, thì tôm hùm nè, cá bóng nè, là cá hấp đó. Thì rất là nhiều các, nói chung là rất là nhiều, là cứ hàng tuần người ta có những cái lịch là con cháu mới về đó, người tập hợp như mình thích ăn cái gì, con cháu nó ăn gì thì mình ăn, ví dụ nó là ăn mực hấp thì mình làm mực hấp, nó bị ở biển nè, nên là hải sản rất là phong phú. Dạ, thì theo cô nói là mình có thời gian rảnh rất nhiều, là lâu lâu mình muốn đổi gió thì mình có thể đi du lịch gần Bình Định, Quy Nhơn, thì nếu mà được có cơ hội đó thì cô sẽ lựa chọn những địa điểm nào gần đây mà mình đi du lịch đó. Ví dụ như những địa điểm gần đây, ví dụ đi du lịch đó thì cô cũng thích đây, ví dụ như đi Phú Yên thì nó có gần Đá Đĩa, thì nói chung là cũng có cơ hội thì 8 tháng 3 như tháng 10 của ngày phụ nữ thì mình đảo gia đình xanh hoặc là bạn bè là mình có những kế hoạch trước là đảo Cù Xanh là đi lên Tây Sơn, cánh đó Tây Sơn nè, nó có những cái nơi mà du lịch mới phát triển đó, nó có rất là nhiều. Tây Sơn rồi mình đi qua Hầm Hô, rồi đi qua Hải Giang, rồi eo gió đó. Đi mùa hè là mùa xuân từ tháng 3 đến tháng 7 thôi, riêng tháng 8 đến 9 là bắt đầu vào mùa mưa là không thể đi được. Không có tham quan.
El Gió is 20 kilometers away northeast from Quy Nhơn city. It is curved around by Quy Nhơn Sea and the majestic Rocky Mountains, giving this place such untouched beauty. My whole life I've been looking forward to setting my feet on Hội An, as I'm worried that one day the ancient town will eventually lose all of its historic traits, and finally I made it. Many Japanese merchants had come to Hội An during the 15th and 16th century and made the city flourish as a foreign trading harbor. Later, these Japanese gradually left the city, and also the demolishment of their fascinating architecture were recorded. However, one structure that remains till today is the bridge in Chùa Cầu, which the Japanese built, symbolizing the sword used to repress the sea monster that caused flood to the region. Then, when the Chinese immigrated, the shrine in Chukou was built to worship a god of flood control. Talking about Chinese immigrants in Hội An, the Minh Hương, they contributed hugely to the former Hội An's culture. For example, this Hội Quán Quảng Triệu, primarily built for religious needs and bonding activities. The clubhouse manifests three philosophies of Chinese. First is in this hanging incense. The road to success is not a straight line, but a spiral of failure and recovery until reaching the end success. Second is in this incense smoke. Although the incense is drooping down, the smoke always diffuses upwards to the gods above, meaning the occurrences in one's life not only depends on their planning and actions, but also is up to fate. Third is that unlike the Vietnamese adaptation, Chinese god of soil and god of wealth are earnestly worshipped in separate and solemn altars, because they put huge stress on doing business and believe that wealth only comes to those who are traders. Also, Quan Công is present in almost everywhere for his prestige, the top moral in partnership. An Asian town is not one without a trade of age-old houses. The most famous in Hội An is Đức An Asian Towns, where you know that it was built when the feudal system is at peak, as it only has one ground floor and no upstairs.
Hello, so may I ask where you from?
From Austria.
Austria, okay. How long have you stayed here in Vietnam?
In Vietnam, like a week.
And you just traveled to Hội An, yeah?
Yes.
Today. May I ask what aspect of Hội An do you like best?
We haven't seen so much yet, but we really like that this area is full of cars and motorbikes, so it's very quiet, so we really like it.
You like travel around in bikes?
No, we prefer like walking streets with no cars, so we can show you more.
And the old houses?
Yeah, the architecture. Right?
Yes, the architect.
Thank you. And have you ever been to any other historic site or ancient towns in the world in general? Can you recommend me the one that you like the best?
We recently have been to Sukhothai in Thailand, the ancient capital of Thailand, or before I think it was Pakistan. That was really interesting. And also Machu Picchu in Peru.
That's not in Asia.
But this is in the
Yeah.
And can you tell because I have never known about those places, so could you tell me what's the unique aspect, the features of it that make you like it so much?
In Sukhothai, it's a really huge temple area. I don't know how old it was. Maybe you remember?
It's 800 years old. So it has a lot of like ancient temples, and they have like a little bit renovated, but like everything is well described, and
Well
you
researched,
can.
right?
Yes, very, very well researched.
And you see a lot of old Buddha statues.
While at Hội An, don't forget to try mì Quảng or cao lẩu and ride around town on bikes, which can be rented at low price of 30,000 Vietnam dong per day. In the daylight of Da Nang, we paid a visit to Ngũ Hành Sơn. There are a total of 3 Linh Ấn pagodas in this province, creating a triangle of blessing and protection for the locals. While the most archaic out of the trio is located on Ngũ Hành Sơn, I was amazed by the one on Sơn Trà Peninsula for its grand landscape and the direct view to the ocean. Back on the trail of Ngũ Hành Sơn, you can spot countless statues and ancient writings from the era of Minh Mạng Emperor, where Buddhism was thriving. Still, some cultural traits of the Champa are still present inside Tàng Chơn cave, one of which is the Linga and Yoni statues from the 8th to 9th century. The last is Huyền Không Cave, not only a mesmerizing place of worship, but also the witness of our ancestor August fight against the US troops. Just like in Quy Nhơn, The nightlife in Da Nang was so fun. And on top of that, I got a chance to interview this wonderful, lovely, open, and extremely friendly tourist.
Where are you from?
The UK, England.
UK. Are you traveling here or are you residing?
I'm travelling here.
So what brings you to Da Nang?
Okay, so I lived in Thailand, so I worked in Thailand. And then the pandemic hit, so I had to go back to the UK. And I wanted to do the rest of like Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos while I was in Thailand, but I couldn't, so I've come back to do it.
Like Southeast Asia, no?
Yeah, Southeast Asia.
During your stay here, do you usually indulge yourself in the local cuisine or you tend to find the
Yes,
food in your
so I
hometown?
had the, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a bit like a taco, like the crispy like eggs
Yes.
with the salad and the,
Maybe it's
in like the paper kind of, with the peanut sauce.
I think maybe it's some kind of spring roll.
No, it's not spring rolls. No, not spring rolls.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it's called.
Maybe it's local. I'll try to find it out.
Definitely not spring rolls. I know what's spring rolls.
What's the difference between Vietnamese food, Thai food, and the food in your UK?
Okay, they're very different. I mean, Vietnamese food and Thai food are quite similar.
Maybe in the same area.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in quite a rural, like, I mean, there was noodles, like I suppose pad Thai and things like that. You don't really get that here, but it's still noodles, spring rolls. But the thing I had today, I wish I knew what it was called, because that was not like Thai food, that was totally different.
Was it delicious?
It was really nice.
Okay. I'll try to find it.
But in the UK, no, the food's very different.
Flowers, flowers, and flowers. This is how people recognize Đà Lạt. Also, why the city is called the City of Flowers. But have you ever wondered where its official name Đà Lạt comes from? Hope I can assist you with the answer. A long time ago, this place was inhabited by the Lạt, which is a tribe from the Kho ethnic group. In their language, Đà means land, Lạt is the Lạt people. So Đà Lạt means the land of Lạt people. Time flew, and one day, the French officials wanted to create a little Paris in Vietnam for relaxation. After searching the whole southeast, Dr. Yeltsin found Đà Lạt to have similar climate of their hometown. Hence, the city was developed and adorned for the according purpose. From the name Đà Lạt, the French, unfamiliar with how we pronounce, mispronounced the phrase into Đà Lạt. And during our 2 days in Đà Lạt, we visited Domaine de Macri Church, Đà Lạt train station, Bảo Đại King Palace, Lang Biang Summit, and Trúc Zen Monastery, each with their unique features. But the one that has captivated my heart is Domaine de Macri Church. The church may look lovely on the outside, but even on the inside, the place has long served a beautiful purpose. From 1975, this place has been home to many orphans. The organizer gave them not only a shelter, but also the vocational guidance, so that they can stand on their own feet. Then we have the gala dinner on Lang Biang Summit, where we got to appreciate the Lạt customs, which were expressed through their music. But all good things come to an end, and it's time for us to go home. This was an amazing, yet exciting trip, because we were constantly moving and exploring new things. Anyway, time's up. Thanks for watching and goodbye.